guys, and welcome to today's video. I've found some interesting dupes for some high-end products. One side of my face has high-end and the other side is dupes. Can you guess which one's the dupes? For the first dupe, I have the ARMANI Luminous Silk. I got it in a sample size because it is so expensive. I'm going to put the luxury products on this half of my face, and on this side will be the affordable alternatives. This is the first time I've tried Luminous Silk. I've heard good things about it, but I've never tried it before. I think because it's so expensive. I think I put too much. Oh my gosh, I put way too much on. I went into Sephora and got colour match, but oh my gosh, it is so, I think I put too much on in the get-go. I think I'll just blend it and see how we go. It's blending nicely. I don't know. I think maybe it's the colour. I don't know if I really like the way this is looking. I think the colour's too fair, that's why I'm not loving it. I'm actually not enjoying the way it's looking on my skin. Thank goodness I didn't buy it. It does look incredibly skin-like. So the dupe for ARMANI Luminous Silk is the L'Oreal True Match. This is one of my favourite affordable foundations, so I'm surprised I wasn't too keen on the ARMANI. And when you look at them in the swatches, they look exactly the same. Even the colour is really close. And the consistency is almost identical. This one here is the L'Oreal True Match, and this one here is the ARMANI Luminous Silk. Okay, so now for the L'Oreal True Match. I already know I like this one. Even though the colour looks really similar in the swatches, it looks nicer on the skin. Blended in, they both do look quite similar. I just feel as though the ARMANI Luminous Silk is sitting a little bit more on top of my skin. I don't know if you can actually see that, whereas this one tend to blend in a little bit more easily, which is a surprise considering the price point. Both of them are definitely dewy and they do give a natural finish, so they are a dupe for each other. They look exactly the same. I could go out in public like this and you wouldn't even know that I've got different foundation on. The concealer that I'm going to try on the high-end side of my face is none other than the DIOR Forever Concealer. I'll put the shade in the description box below because I cannot find it on this at all. I actually really like this concealer. It is super expensive, but it feels really nice on the under eyes, especially if you've got dry skin. This colour's coming out a lot warmer than the foundation. I must admit, this concealer is beautiful. It does hide dark circles. It's a full coverage concealer. And now for the dupe. This is the L'Oreal True Match Concealer, and this is in the shade Light Warm. And this is the swatches next to each other. As you can see, they look very, very similar to each other. The top one is the DIOR, and the bottom one is the L'Oreal True Match. So this side here is the L'Oreal True Match. This one has a great coverage as well, and it feels really similar to the DIOR. This one has covered my circles a lot more than the DIOR. The similarities between the two of them is they both claim to be buildable concealers, and they're meant to conceal blemishes and dark circles and redness. So they're both meant to blend seamlessly into the skin, which they both do. Both of these concealers are also multi-purpose, so you can use it all over your face to conceal any other blemishes as well. I do like both, but the dupe wins in this case because you can see it's actually covered a lot more. So next for a contour product, I have the Rare Beauty. And this one's in the shade Bright Side. So that's the Bright Side swatched. Perfect contour shade. This is one of my favourite contour sticks. This one just blends beautifully into the skin. And a dupe for this one is the Maybelline Lifter Sticks, and this is in the shade 45. They both look incredibly similar. However, the Rare Beauty is just slightly deeper. They feel very similar on the skin. This one just feels a little bit more grippy, that's all. But I really like both of these. This one's probably a little bit harder to blend compared to the Rare Beauty, but I feel as though it might stay on a little bit longer than the Rare Beauty because it is quite grippy. You wouldn't even know they're a different contour stick when you look at them on my face. They look exactly the same. So the similarities between these two is that they both look very similar on the skin. They're both designed to be multi-use and they both have the same creamy texture. The Maybelline actually has cranberry seed in it, so it's meant to have more of a nourishing feel on the skin. And the Rare Beauty is just a little bit more dewy. I didn't have a dupe for bronzer today, so I'm just going to go in with my Kosas bronzer on both sides. I love this bronzer, it's so dewy. So for fitting powder today, I'm using the GIVENCHY Prisme Libre. I'm going to use this as a setting powder, particularly under my eyes. This one here is the original formulation that contains talc. It does do a really good job at blurring the under eyes. Okay, so for the dupe, of course, I think you can guess what the dupe's going to be. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder in the shade Fair Light. When you have these on the skin, they look exactly the same. You can't even tell that I'm wearing a different powder. And look how much that is blurring. The similarities between the two products, besides the fact they look exactly the same, They're both a setting and finishing powder. They're both excellent for shine control, and they both have a lightweight feel, and they're both also incredibly long lasting. Okay, for blush. Today for the luxury side of my face, I have the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Luminous Flush. It's an excellent blush. It has a lit within look to it. It is just so subtle and pretty, that is. I really like the color too. You can't go wrong with this blush though, because it just looks so natural. It doesn't come out pigmented straight away. It's very user friendly, but that color is so pretty. And for the dupe, I have the MILANI Baked Powder in Dolce Pink. This is another one of my favorite ones. See, this one, the difference straight off is that this one comes out quite pigmented straight away, but they both have that sort of glowing quality to them. They both look really luminous. The color's pretty spot on as well. I'll actually swatch the colors for you. I forgot to do that. I'm so sorry. The top one is the MILANI and the bottom one is the Hourglass. And as you can see, they both have that luminous quality to them. Okay, so the similarities between the two blushes, besides the fact that they look identical on the skin, they both provide a luminous finish and they're both vegan and cruelty-free. And the formulations are also quite similar because they both avoid harsh chemicals. The shades are very similar as well. Before I go in with the eyeshadows, I just want to show you the swatches of the two products that I have for eyeshadows. Out of these two swatches, could you tell which is the more high-end side? This one here is the high-end side and this one here is the dupe. Affordable side is actually a lot more illuminating and glowy compared to the high-end side. Okay, so now for eyeshadow. I've got the Natasha Denona Bloom palette for the high-end side of my face. I know it's just another pink palette, but I do love this palette. So for this look, I'm going into the crease with the shade Robin. I love the way Natasha Denona's mattes blend. They blend so beautifully. And with that same shade, I'm just going underneath the lash line. Okay, so now for the dupe side. I have the MILANI Gilded Mini Palette in the shade It's All That Rose. So I'm just going in with this shade here. This one here, this is very similar to Robin. I knew when I was using the MILANI palette, it reminded me of another one that I had in my collection. And it wasn't until I was playing around with them the other day that I realized how similar these two actually are. The color stories are so similar. The MILANI mattes blend beautifully as well. They probably don't blend as easily as the Natasha Denona ones do. I'm just going in with a flat brush. I'm going into the shade Ren. Natasha Denona eyeshadows are so pigmented. That came out quite strong. I really have to blend this one out. This is the MILANI color that is extremely similar to Ren. The difference with the MILANI is I have to build it up a lot more, whereas the Natasha Denona just comes out pigmented from the get-go. To add a little bit more depth to the look, I'm just going in with the color Floss. I'm remembering to go in with a light hand with this one. In the MILANI palette, this one here is a really similar shade to Floss. Just going in with this shade here to bring underneath. Okay, so I'm just going into the shade Lush, just for the middle of the lid. Oh, I love that. That is so pretty. And on the MILANI palette, I'm just going into this shade here and doing the same on the other eye. I probably just noticed that this one probably doesn't have as much of a shimmer as the Natasha Denona. For inner corner highlight, I'm going in with the shade Crisp. This shade's so pretty for an inner corner highlight. And with a clean brush, I'm just going into this shade here on the MILANI palette for an inner corner highlight on this side. This one's actually really impactful. I'm just going in with a black eyeliner to complete the look. I don't have a dupe for mascara, so I'm just going in on both sides with the Maybelline Firework mascara. Okay, so the notable similarities between these two eyeshadow palettes was obviously the color story is incredibly similar. Apparently they actually share some of the same ingredients to be able to give the effect that they give. Although they look quite similar, Natasha Denona's formulas are just a little bit smoother, and I find that they're a little bit more long wearing. How posh am I? I have the Yves Saint Laurent Candy Glaze in the shade 15. So this is it swatched. It's just a soft, pretty peachy pink. I must admit these feel beautiful on the lips. They're so nourishing. It's going to be interesting trying to do half my lip. Okay, so that's half of my lip done. And the dupe for this one is the Revlon Super Lustrous Lip Shine in the shade 005. Swatch them next to each other. That's them swatched next to each other. The top swatch is the Yves Saint Laurent and the bottom swatch is the Revlon. As you can see, they are very similar. They smell quite different. The Yves Saint Laurent has a fruity smell and this one has a vanilla smell. But as you can see, they look exactly the same on the lip. The Yves Saint Laurent feels a lot more nourishing and a lot more of a thicker formula, whereas the Revlon seems to be a lot more of a thinner formulation. The similarities between these two is they both offer a nourishing glassy shine. They both have a balm-like texture. The Revlon's just a little bit more of a thinner consistency. And the Yves Saint Laurent claims to last for 24 hours. However, when you're looking at them on the lips, they look exactly the same. As you can see, my face looks exactly the same. I could easily go to the shops looking like this and no one would even know that I've got different products on each side of my face. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in my next video. And please remember to like and subscribe as it helps me out a lot.